This right here, the level of writing and directing and cinematography, like this is what I wanted from Moon Knight. And welcome to my Safe Gayven, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining me and clicking on another video here on the Black Gay Comic Geek channel. But if this is your first time checking out the channel, thank you so much. Let me introduce myself. My name is Michael. I call myself the Black Gay Comic Geek, and I always say the things I love to talk about on my channel has blood, sex, gore, and magic, or any variation of the four. So I mostly like to talk about fantasy, comic books, superheroes, action movies, horror movies, sci-fi. Every so often I'll step out of the fantasy realm and review normal movies, but of course I like to talk about black representation and queer representation, as it says in the name, Black Gay Comic Geek, because I'm black, I'm gay, and I like to talk about comics. So if that's something that you're interested in, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, guys. I'm this close to hitting, not only did I just pass 10,000 subscribers, I'm halfway to hitting 10,100. I'm at like 10,050 subscribers. So let's continue to grow the channel. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed, but you can also help me out by hitting that like button. It'll tell the YouTube algorithm that this video is worth getting out there. My channel is worth promoting to other people, and so more eyes can see the channel and help me grow. With that, guys, speaking of growth, I have just created and unveiled a Discord channel. And for those of you that don't know, Discord is basically like live chat rooms, and there are certain channels on the Discord where if you want to talk about non-MCU, DCU related movies, we can do that. We could talk about MCU, DCU related movies, Invincible. We could talk a spoilers channel. We could talk about your favorite queer ships, your favorite queer relationships, fan art, etc., all on my Discord channel. The link for that is in the description box below. And I will be also unveiling Patreon specific tiers for the Discord. The Patreon is coming later. I am going to be announcing a Patreon. But with that housekeeping out of the way, let's talk about the first 2 episodes of Daredevil. Again, as you couldn't tell from the title, this is going to be a spoiler review. By the time this video drops, the first 2 episodes will have aired, so definitely watch the first 2 episodes first before you come here. I did get to see the first 2 episodes. I went to the red carpet world premiere for Daredevil, so I did post an out of the theater reaction, but this is a full spoiler review. So again, hopefully you watch the first 2 episodes that are unveiled tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time before you watch this video. So yeah, let's get into the first 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again. These first 2 episodes were incredible. Like, I need the entire season immediately. I wish, because there are some people that got early screenings or got the access to see the entire season. I wish I was one of those, but I at least was lucky enough to get the first 2 episodes. But these first 2 episodes, I'm like, this is how you do not only just a starting episode. Like, this first episode was incredible, but these first 2 episodes are probably some of the best written, shot, acted, directed, show ran episodes of any Marvel, not even just Disney, but any Marvel show, period. Especially this pilot episode. I was like, granted, well, no, it's not a pilot episode, but technically it is, because this is Daredevil going to Disney, even though this is a de facto season 4. But I was just like, this is how you do a first episode. Like, I was on the edge of my seat from start to finish. Like, those opening 10 minutes when, again, spoilers, when Foggy dies, and I'm gonna say, like, I knew Foggy was going to die. I was spoiled about Foggy dying from a friend of mine who saw the first 2 episodes, and she didn't like do it on accident. Like, she told me, she was like, do you want to know? I was like, yeah, I want to know. And she tells me Foggy dies in like the first 10 minutes of the episode. So even though I went into the episode knowing that Foggy was going to die, when I saw it in that theater at the red carpet, I was still caught off guard in the way it was done and still jumped in the theater, even though I knew it was going to happen. And just in the way and in the intensity that the episode was shot and in the score, the fact that you saw Daredevil fighting Bullseye and you're hearing Foggy's heartbeat in the background with no like scores, if I remember correctly, because I saw it like 2 weeks ago, but no score playing underneath the fight scene. The score was Foggy's heartbeat, and just the intensity of that. Like I said, I knew he was gonna die, but I was still just like, oh no, like I was like Matt, just like please don't let it die, please don't let it happen, please don't let it happen. And like the moment his heart stopped and the way Matt Murdock just like threw Bullseye off the roof, first opening 10 minutes, like it was incredible. I was just like, man, this is how you're starting the show? How is the rest of the show gonna be? Like, and that fight scene between Bullseye and Matt Murdock, this is like peak Daredevil. All the things that you remember from the Netflix Daredevil show. Yes, thank you, Disney, because I was nervous, super nervous about this show going to Disney Plus. Even though they claimed they were going to still do the same level of intensity that it was on Netflix, they said the same thing about Moon Knight, where it was just like, this is going to be the first like rated R series that's going to Disney Plus. Moon Knight is going to be intense and everything like that. And then it wasn't. Like all the intense moments, they like shot away from, or they turned the camera. And I was just like, this is not what they promised this show was going to be. Like the blood, sex, gore, and magic, the things I love in my fantasy. Granted, Daredevil doesn't really have magic in it, but it's in a superhero world. It takes place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so technically it is magic. And then also he has abilities, super enhanced hearing and things like that, more so than any person that's disabled or whatever, that's blind. Yeah, they have enhanced senses, but not on the level of Matt Murdock, so it's still magic. But I was worried it wasn't going to be just as graphic as the Netflix show or the Frank Miller comics. And no, it is. And honestly, like, I feel like in these first 2 episodes, there wasn't a lot of moments of brutality. Like you think of like a Game of Thrones, it's almost like back to back to back to back. I feel like they were very intentional in the moments that they injected, the graphic nature of the, like, I don't think it was as much as like the Netflix show, at least in these first 2 episodes. But the moments that it happened was just, it made it even more jarring because it wasn't throughout the first 2 episodes. Like I said, when the Bullseye fight, when he threw Bullseye off the roof, or you think about episode 2, if I remember correctly, you didn't really see Matt get brutal in this fight in episode 2 until the very end. So you went the whole episode without any like Daredevil moments, and it still was just like, oh my God, especially like what he did at the end of episode 2. Again, spoilers, I gotta keep saying spoilers, but I was just like, fuck. And I was like, wait, that's how it ends? Where's episode 3? Like, I can't wait another, because like it's been 2 weeks since I saw the first 2 episodes, so I'm waiting even longer to see episode 3, and I'm just like, I need the next episode, like, injected into my veins now. But that's the thing about this show, like, even in the slow moments, because I know there might be some people that will complain in like these first 2 episodes, you really only got to see Daredevil in the beginning of episode 1, but then throughout it was Matt Murdock. But I'm like, even throughout that, I was still on the edge of my seat these entire first 2 episodes. Even in the quiet moments, I was still fully, what's the word I'm trying to use? I was still hypnotized by this show. I was still glued to the show. There was no moment that I was just like, dang, I wish they showed more Daredevil. Absolutely not. Like, even in like the conversations between like Kingpin and Matt, or Matt and Karen, or seeing Matt deal with the girl that he got set up on a date, like all of it was still very interesting to me. Like, this show is doing a great job of like full on character work, and I absolutely love this show for it. Like, I would say that, especially with these first 2 episodes, Marvel, whether it's Netflix, Disney Plus, the writers, like, they really know how to write the Daredevil character and all the characters surrounding him. Like, it is like, I just love the character work that they do. Not with Matt, not just with Matt Murdock, but Karen, Wilson Fisk, and all the other characters. Like, out of all the superhero shows, not just from Marvel, but superhero shows, period, Daredevil is continuing to show that it's the best of all of them. And then you got Invincible over in Amazon. Like, those two are like like neck and neck in terms of like story and superhero shows in general. Like Invincible and Daredevil, again, are like right there with each other. But I gotta give the edge to Daredevil only because I'm still not like some of the animation in the Invincible show. That's why I can't give it number one, because the animation, especially when you compare it to the comic book, the animation is just not that good overall. But in terms of like story and character work, they're like neck and neck. I will put Daredevil over Invincible because of Invincible's animation. But like, I'm just trying to go back and think of all the things that called out, because again, I saw it 2 weeks ago. Like I said, when this video airs, I'm gonna have this video go up right at 9 p.m. when episode 1 comes up. But even the lighting choices, like the moment at the end of episode 1 where you saw Kingpin on the roof and he was highlighted in like white light, and then you saw Daredevil below and like half his face was red and the other half was regular. Like even that, I was like, that is brilliant. That is so, like, whoever thought of that, give them a raise immediately. And the funny thing is, like, even before finding out that Foggy died in this first episode, I went into this season expecting one of the three to die. Obviously not Daredevil, it's his show. But in the comics, Karen is the one that is killed by Bullseye. Bullseye throws one of Matt's billy clubs at Matt, and Karen jumps in front of him to save his life. And so she ends up taking the fatal blow instead of Matt. And so I was going into it thinking Karen was going to be the one to die. They chose the route of Foggy. And to me, it actually does make more sense, because I think the audience would have a more visceral reaction to it be. And then also Matt being that Foggy is his best friend and somebody that he's known way longer than he's known Karen. I feel like he would have a more visceral reaction to Foggy dying than Karen dying. And what he did to Bullseye, I don't necessarily think would have happened if it was Karen versus Foggy. So for the sake of the story, it makes more sense. And that, because everything from me goes back to Buffy. Like, I think about if Tara wasn't the one to die at the end of season 6, Willow would not have gone Dark Willow. Even if, like, yeah, if Buffy, that's her best friend, but I don't think Willow would have went Dark Willow if it was Buffy or Xander that died. No, it had to have been Tara, the love of her life, the person that, you know, opened her up to this new world of lesbianism and everything like that. And not only just that, but they just got back together after having been broken up for a few months. And for her life to be cut, like, it makes sense. Like, so, yeah, I'm not going to go into a whole Buffy diatribe or rant, but, like, basically, I say all that to say it makes sense. Like, for Matt to get to where he got, it makes sense for it to be Foggy. But it still hurt. As an audience member, it still hurt. It hurt. And granted, this is a comic book universe, so maybe he's not dead. I mean, hell, Elektra died in the comic. I think she died in season 2 as well, if I remember correctly. It's been so long since I've seen season 2, but I think she died in season 2 as well. We know the hand exists, so Foggy might not be permanently dead, but right now, he's dead. And then also the actor might show up in like flashbacks. Foggy still might show up in like flashbacks, but as of right now, he's gone. And I'm just like, that hurt. And I guess for the sake of the show, they're implying that Echo is canon because they reference him getting shot in the face by one of his proteges, which happened in Echo. I guess technically it happened at the end of Hawkeye. So maybe it's not canon, because also he had the scar when he was healed, and he has that like robotic eye, and we didn't really see him using the robotic eye that he used in that show. So I'm guessing maybe they're saying it's not canon. That's what I was also confused, because they also kind of reference like, oh, he disappeared for 5 months, which is what happened in that show. In the Echo show. I don't know, because I also know the show didn't do that well on Disney Plus, so part of me is like, are they trying to ignore that show existing? Because Daredevil also showed up in Echo as well. And that's one thing like I wish Marvel would like figure out, because like not every character needs their own show, but that doesn't mean that character shouldn't get some level of shine. Like, giving Echo her own show, probably a no, but that doesn't mean she shouldn't show up in the Daredevil universe, especially her connection with Matt, her connection with Wilson Fisk, and and things like that. And then also like having a Laqua Cox, a native woman, you know, getting, especially a disabled native woman, getting her own like role and leading role, like that is like, she shouldn't disappear and, you know, by the wayside just because of the reception, especially because like, I mean, even the show, just like the way it ended, her doing like the symbol and doing whatever, like that was stupid. But also, speaking of Daredevil showing up in another show, I did speak to Brad Winderbaum, who is the head of Marvel Television, at the red carpet, and I asked him, when does Daredevil take place within the Marvel cosmology? And because we also saw him show up in She-Hulk, and this show takes place before She-Hulk. But yeah, but the way these actors are seamlessly slipping into these characters, it doesn't, like, the season 3 was in 2018, so it's been virtually 7 years since season 3, and it doesn't feel like 7 years have passed. It seems like this is a de facto season 4. It feels like it's taking place. Granted, it's been some years, but it does feel like it's seamlessly slipping right back into the MCU. And honestly, like, even though this show is supposed to be more in line with the MCU versus the Netflix show, I don't necessarily think so, because they reference the MCU in the original show with the Avengers and things like that. So it almost feels like it's no different. It feels like it's just the same as like the Netflix shows. Because even with this show, they reference, because like, especially with like everything that's going on in the show, like Kingpin is running for mayor of New York. And I was like, especially being that he's also talking about banning vigilantes, banning superheroes within New York. I'm like, this should have huge repercussions throughout the entire MCU, because Spider-Man operates in New York, Hawkeye operates in New York, and Kingpin was also in Hawkeye. A bunch of other characters who I'm drawing a blank on in the MCU operate in well, that's an alternate universe, never mind. But they all operate within New York. So I'm like, this should have huge ramifications on all the movies. And he also references Spider-Man in this show in episode 2. So I'm just like, and then also I'm like, so where's Spider-Man? We know Spider-Man is around at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home, and Kingpin is a huge Spider-Man villain, just like he is a Daredevil villain. I believe he started as a Spider-Man villain. Yeah, his first appearance was in the Amazing Spider-Man number 50. So he started as a Spider-Man villain. And so like, I would love to see Vincent D'Onofrio go up against Tom Holland. But yeah, but I feel like they're still doing that thing where they try to say these shows are connected, but they're not really. Because they also said the same thing. Like when they first announced Disney Plus, they were like, these shows are going to be way more connected to the Marvel movies than like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or all the original other shows that we referenced. But even in like WandaVision, the writers of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, they said, oh yeah, we never watched WandaVision. I'm like, well, that makes sense of why Wanda is the way she is, because like y'all didn't watch WandaVision. Because I'm just like, are these shows gonna be more connected? I mean, the biggest difference is we're seeing them show up in the MCU, like a Miss Marvel who started on Disney Plus, like a Monica Rambeau who started on WandaVision, Billy and Tommy, they're gonna show up in the movie. So in that sense, they're more connected, because we never saw any of the characters from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show up in the movies. But in terms of like what happens, like Kingpin running for mayor, is that going to play? That should play a part in Spider-Man 4. Or rather, not even just running for mayor. He is the mayor by the time episode 2 ends. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to bring up or talk about in this spoiler discussion. Like I said, I saw it like 2 weeks ago. But either way, like I'm here for this. Like these first 2 episodes, I have no notes. Perfect. Actually, I do have a note. Charlie Cox, in these first 2 episodes, there should have been a shirtless scene, because in the Daredevil Born Again comic, and I mentioned this in my Out of the Theater reaction, there is a moment where you see Matt Murdock walking around his apartment naked with just a towel, and I was like waiting for it. I was like, where is it? Where is it? Let's see Charlie Cox's workout routine now that he's getting back in the Matt Murdock shoes, but didn't get it. So I need, you know, like I said, blood, sex, gore, and magic. I need more sex. But that's just me being thirsty. But all jokes aside, is it a joke? But all jokes aside, like, again, no note. These first 2 episodes, flawless. Daredevil is back. And I can't wait to see how the rest of the season plays out. I wish they did the same thing. Like Netflix, Daredevil got 13 episodes per season. I wish they did the same thing for this. We're only getting 9. I guess that's better than 8, because 8 is usually the standard. So, but yeah. And then they already announced that they're doing a season 2. So they have a lot of confidence in the show. Not only did they announce that they're doing a season 2, I think they started shooting this week, but they said season 2 is only going to be 8 episodes as opposed to the 9. And I'm just like, what are y'all doing? Give me more episodes. But other than that, like Daredevil Born Again, I can't wait to talk about episode 3. So with that said, what did you guys think about these first 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you think it compares to the Netflix series? Or do you think it's basically the same show? It's just as on par. Or maybe you prefer something that they did on Netflix or prefer something that they did on Disney. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, if you can, hit that thumbs up button again so it tells the YouTube algorithm that this video was enjoyable, that you enjoyed this video. It can tell other people to check out the video. Hit the bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video. I may start doing lives because I'm enjoying it so much. I want to talk about with you guys, so I might start doing lives for like episode 3 and on. But also, like I said, guys, I do have a Discord. Click the link in the description below for access to my Discord. I will be unveiling Patreon specific tiers for the Discord. A Patreon is coming, so be on the lookout for that. And tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. Like, share, comment, interact for the all gay rhythm. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.